The other day I was pondering about the conventional wisdom among castle lovers of Lego that we're kind of the second class citizens of the Lego world because there's not a normal release schedule for castle sets. And I suppose if you compared us to Star Wars and even Ninjago or Harry Potter, yeah, that would be a fair thing to talk about, that we don't get as many sets as they do. But I would like to pose the theory that in actuality, we are living in a second golden age of Lego castles. I'm Tom Bray since 1954, and I really mean that. I began to really think about it. When I came into the hobby, it's not even 2 years since I've been building Lego. Not even 2 years since I posted my first video, which asked the question, is Lego good for seniors? And of course, I believe that it is, and I still believe it is. But in those less than 2 years, I want to give you kind of an inventory of what I've been able to buy as a castle lover, despite the fact that there's no normal release schedule for castle sets. So when I came into the hobby in the early summer of 2024, around the end of May, June, already on the market was the 3-in-1 castle set that you've heard me talk about here multiple times. It's one of the greatest castle sets ever. And there it was available for me, a newbie, to buy. And I bought probably 4 sets of that over the next 5 or 6 months that I was collecting, because I saw in it a golden opportunity to not only build all the scenes from the 3-in-1 aspect of that set, but to have the parts to begin to explore expanding the castle, to make it bigger, to change it, to do all the things you do when you buy extra sets of Lego Castle. So here I've got that set, and that set not only is a great beginning castle set, but it features the Black Falcon. So there are a couple of those minifigs thrown in there. So what do? I figure out that there's such a thing called Pick-a-Brick, and I go on immediately and I start buying Black Falcon troops to expand my army for that set. And also discovered the Forestmen, where I could expand my Forestmen collection and add it to my castle world. So that was on the market. So that's my first castle set. And then what do you know? I discovered that not only was there that set, but there was the gigantic and brilliant Lion Knights castle set, which is arguably the greatest castle set that Lego has ever put out. I would argue that it certainly is. So I buy that. Now, I'm not even a year into my collecting, and I've got 2 fantastic castle sets. And of course, what do I need? I need more of the Lion Knights troops. So I start to army build. And then smack dab in the middle of that, we get the Dungeons & Dragons collectible minifigs series, which is absolutely ideal to integrate into a fantasy castle world. So now I'm building vampire troops, I'm building skeleton armies, I'm building, well, you name it, whatever's in that set or whatever I can get my hands on Pick-a-Brick, I'm creating armies. So I've got now bad guys and I've got good guys. So I have now 2 factions of knights, the Black Falcons and the Lion's Knights. I've got Forestmen, and now I have vampires and warlocks and witches and you name it. And that is less than a year into my collecting of Lego. So I would be hard-pressed to think of myself as being somebody that's been put out by not being able to get castle sets at that point, because I already have 2 that are magnificent, and I've got all these parts and armies that I'm building. So now, I want you to follow along with me. Now we're in the summer, last summer, 2025, and we get another castle set. Actually, we get two castle sets. We get unicorns, and who doesn't love unicorns? And then we get the Horse Knights castle, complete with two new factions, the Horse Knights and the Snake Knights. And, my cup runneth over. Now I have 4 wonderful castle sets that I can add to my fantasy kingdom. And I'm not even in to year 2. And now, top all of that off with the fact that I buy the Medieval Village set, which I haven't even finished building yet, with all of the wonderful parts that go to that, including the castle tower and the tax collector and all the minifigs that are in that set. And I want you to imagine a village put together of all of those castle pieces, not to mention the alternative builds of those 2, 3, and 1 sets, like the Joust build, which I absolutely adore. So my point is that in less than 2 years of collecting, I've been able to purchase, and not on the secondary market, not retired sets, but 4 solid first-run castle sets, including brand new factions that we haven't seen before, and including parts that I could go on Pick-a-Brick for Horse Knights and Snake Knights and grab some of. I would argue that we're in a fantastic age of castle collecting, that it's not a hardship at all. I mean, I can barely keep up with what I've got. I haven't even built, like I said, the village yet. So I don't know what I'm complaining about as far as releases go. And, once that Horse Knights castle goes on sale, I'll buy another set. So I can afford to wait until LEGO decides to send us another castle. And I have every faith that within 2026, at some point, we will see a new castle set to add to the solid castle sets that we've seen in the last few years. So, my message, castle lovers, rejoice. We are really living in a fantastic time to be a castle collector. So, what do you think? Do you agree with me that sometime in 2026, LEGO is going to give us another castle set? And if you do agree with me, do you have any idea what that set might be? Also, do you share my conviction that this is kind of a second golden age of LEGO castle collecting, and that we're being pretty well taken care of by LEGO as castle lovers? Leave your ideas in the comments. I always learn so much from you. Thanks for watching, and keep building your LEGO fantasy castle world one brick at a time.